What's going on, everybody? Man, it's your boy Jay in the building. We're back again with another video. Okay, so apparently there has been another video that had came out last night or whatever. Just speaking about the breaking news, it's coming from the campus of Jackson State itself. So I watched most of it or whatever, and I kind of just want to pinpoint a few things on what they're saying. I don't know if y'all watched it yet. If y'all didn't, we finna watch it together. So we're gonna start from right here, just to hear what they have to say and kind of analyze what they had to say. So let's get to it.
And welcome into a special quick edition of the Pregame Show. Bishop and Neil coming to you from the home studios, if you will, here on the Black Hole Sports Network. And Neil, let me set this up today. I'm going to tell you how my day is going. I'm out playing golf, having a phenomenal day today, and then all of a sudden,
we're gonna fast forward a little.
When we touch base, your phone went berserk. Breaking news that sort of happened today. So,
let's fast forward a little bit.
I'm not sure, but the immediate reaction. But Neely, I'm sure our fan base is more than happy to hear what exactly is going on here.
I'm lost. When you said the news the other day, and I got my my Prime shirt on, my little gold chain, my Prime glasses. I'm lost, Chuck. When you said the big news of today, I really thought you were talking about the Lady Tigers almost upsetting the University of Miami down there in Miami.
I was keeping track of that.
The shades on for real.
News, but apparently from all the texts and the DMs, that wasn't the case.
That's the real news. Shout out to Coach Reed and the Lady Tigers, man. Traveled down to Miami, Florida, took on the Hurricanes, and almost pulled it out, Chuck. Almost pulled it out. We always talk about the importance of winning those games, those out-of-conference games, being competitive and winning them in November, December. Her first one, opening night, Coach Reed, defending SWAC champions. Almost. I just knew that you were talking about that you were going to talk about box score and you did block, rebounds, and points. But you talking about some telegram out of Dallas, out of Texas, man? What the hell is going on in the world, Chuck?
Well, here's
let's get to it, fellas.
The gist of the article.
Come on, let's get to it. Come on.
Deion Sanders squarely put himself in the mix to become TCU's next coach. Sources to the university selection committee told the Star Telegram on Tuesday. Said Sanders had his first interview with TCU on Monday and impressed. One source went so far as to saying Sanders is expected to make a cut for the second round of interviews. This is in quotes. I'm not saying he's going to get the job. I'm not saying he's a leading candidate at this point, but he's in the mix. He was impressed. So, I think a lot of people are curious as to what the reaction is from the pregame show. And
I don't want to hear what I had to say. Come
our
on.
fan base has had a very, I got a phone call, a very panicked reaction. So, tonight's episode was kind of talk a little bit about this and get into the gist of it.
Yeah, just being a little tongue-in-cheek with you, Chuck. Of course, I knew what tonight's show was about. My phone was blowing up too so much that you and I talked, and literally I was on campus over at football operations having some team meetings because, this show has been selected by Coach Prime to be embedded in the program. So, we had some afternoon film sessions and unit meetings and dinner over there in the cafeteria. And we were all smiles at this, all smiles, because there is not an ounce of reality over at 1400 Lynch Street at the TBLS Annex that somehow Coach Prime is leaving for anywhere. He has made his commitment to this program. And even when you see media outlets quote over quote, what you still haven't seen is, you said it's TCU, is it? You still haven't seen TCU come out with the date, the time, the transcript, the Zoom link, a picture of it. However, they allegedly met on yesterday, I take it, for this interview of sorts, if you will. So I think that Tiger Nation can rest well. I think what we need to be doing is focusing in on our game this weekend against Southern down in Baton Rouge, which when we win it, we will have mathematically and fundamentally and factually secured the SWAC East crown and be going to the SWAC championship.
All right, so what he's saying is fake news. He's saying don't worry about it. He's not leaving. in which I kind of said yesterday. But I kind of knew that they probably already knew that what was going around. Like, for them to be all laughs about it when it came out, and when I kind of knew that the Jackson State fan base would panic. But it's like, yo, he did so much for him not to leave, but he did so much that if he leaves, it will be in good hands no matter what, because he's already done a lot. But he's not leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, y'all realize that they've been trying to get him out of Jackson State since the beginning of this season. They've been trying to. Like, for these big Power 5 schools to talk, for them to hear what Coach Prime had to say about him trying to bring back the power that HBCU football once had, and then you have multiple Power 5 schools trying to get him, he knows what's up. And he sees what's up. He's trying to get inside the door. He's collecting information from these big time schools. That's my thinking. But let's keep it going.
That's the focus over there. And it's not a focus because it's being dismissed and we're just going to ignore the outside noise. It's the focus because the main thing is the main thing. And this rumor mill stuff is pointless. It is without merit. I've seen people say stuff, Chuck, like, well, you know, they're saying it and he being Coach Prime is not refuting it. So it must be true. So let me give you an example of that. Hey, y'all, Beyonce will be with me.
All right. Come on. Beyonce, come on. Why are we using Beyonce? Why are we using Beyonce?
Booed up. Public displays of affection. Now, in the next few days, when she doesn't refute it, I want y'all to believe me. When she doesn't come out and say otherwise, when I say, yeah, you know, sources say now Beyonce is in the mix to get with Neely. She's in the mix. Come on, y'all. Come on.
Well, here's a more interesting question that I would ask. And we're all Jackson State fans, but normally when news hits and social media being what it is, we have an immediate reaction to, if it's on this medium, then it has to be true. And it's a very interesting sort of dynamic to watch and see, because in so many cases,
bad example.
Just kind of have this sort of panic reaction
to bad example, like I said,
specifically in regards to Jackson State, or how it's going to tear away the focus, or whatever the case might be.
Yeah, the team is focused, Chuck. I was there at practice this morning. Today, the schedule changed on this week. Typically, Wednesday is our install day where we really focus on the game plan for the coming Saturday. Then we work on that install Wednesday, practice it Thursday, do walk from Friday. Moved up the schedule some this week since we're going to travel on part of Friday. So we did installs this morning. Team went as normal as they are. Coaches got up with their presentations to their units and the entire team, went outside and practiced. And none of this was affecting the team, the team's focus, the conversations with the coaches, or anything of that nature. And then now somebody's going to say, oh, Nita, that's because it was 7 this morning. Well, we're back over there at 6 p.m. today, and the same thing. It is not disrupting this team. This team is business-minded. These players, these coaches are blocking out the noise. In fact, when they don't block out the noise, they're laughing at the noise because of the absurdity of it all, that he would be leaving right now and leaving for TCU off an internet rumor. And Chuck, that's what I meant when I said quoting the quote.
Oh, Lord.
When you read these articles, these clickbait articles, if you will, nobody is saying who said it. A sports blog site comes out with something, it gets traction, everybody starts retweeting and sharing that, and they're quoting that quote. But there's never a name with the quote. There's never an official with TCU to say, yeah, we talked to him on this day at this time. Because, those of us in the mix at football operations and the pregame show, we're in communication with Coach Prime, and we know what windows of time that some of these things could have happened or not happened. And it's just not a lot of validity to it. It's not enough for us to get in this uproar about it. This team operations, football department, all is focused on the game this weekend to secure the SWAC East crown.
But let's say this though. Now, just because y'all know and he ain't come out to the public, don't mean that he's not giving people a reason to not panic, because he's definitely giving people a reason to panic. Like, because I remember the first time when he was approached by a Power 5 school and he came out and said something after somebody asked him. So with this time with TCU, you know, his name being brought up in a interview request, of course he didn't have to come out and say anything because it didn't come out that he was asked to be interviewed. Now, around the noise with yesterday, when him actually doing the interview, and with him not actually coming out and saying what his plan actually is, you are giving people a reason to panic. Even though there may be a few people who probably do know that you're not going to take the job anyway, you're still giving people a reason to panic because you're not coming out and saying what's your reasoning for taking the interview if you really want to be the coach for TCU. Or if all of the interviews that you spoke about HBU football, if we spoke about names in the back of the jersey, talking about, you know, money games, if all that was a facade. Even though I know it wasn't. I know, look, you ain't gotta manipulate me, because I know what it is. But you have to, like, kind of dumb it down for the people who are kind of, quote unquote, nervous about it.
Let me play the what if, because here's a lot of texts that I've been getting today. And this is, I'll play the role of SWAC fan, I'll play the role of Jackson State fan, even better. It's not a good look if he takes this interview with TCU.
And who said he took the interview? Because again, it's not a good look for Beyonce to come to the Soul Bowl with me and she's married to Jay-Z. But when did Beyonce ever say she was coming to the Soul Bowl with me? I said that. That had been verified by Beyonce, and people are taking the silence of Beyonce as that must mean that it's true, when they're not understanding that we don't have the time, we don't have the desire to respond to every single rumor that is going to happen around this coach, this program. So Chuck, I remember watching American Gangster, and the Don was telling Frank Lucas, your success took a shot at you. How you gonna keep, Frank, you gonna become unsuccessful? This is what happens when you're successful. You know, for the people out there who dated a bad one, when you dating a bad one, you gotta let it be bad. Now you gotta let a bad chick be a bad chick. People gonna shoot at her. People gonna say stuff about her. And if you ain't ready to date a bad one, that's your insecurities. And he's at the number of people, or how I should say, it's the same people who said he wasn't coming here, that it was a rumor mill, that there's no way a person like Deion Sanders would choose to coach at HBCU, would choose to coach at Jackson, Mississippi, choose to coach at Jackson State University. Now those same people who got hushed on that are all buying into it. Told you he's leaving. I knew it was true. Because the two things that are common on those both ends of that poll is you didn't feel like you deserved this. That's an insecurity issue for you to work on. You need to look in the mirror and deal with your insecurities. I thought all along, Chuck has thought all along, clearly A.D. Robinson has thought all along that Jackson State and HBCUs could have a guy like Deion Sanders be our coach. And since that time, we've never wavered in our thought that oh yeah, he's going to leave us on the first string smoking. And we cannot allow what is a fundamental fact. At some point in the future, Coach Prime will no longer be the coach of Jackson.
But you got to think, like, this is kind of where his quote-unquote trauma has been coming from. You know, not, you know, now, of course, it's coming from his recovery and how, you know, and how he's kind of had a minor setback with his recovery. But it's also from how many people may be talking down, you know, about him because of this. Now, for Neely to say that, who said that he took the interview. Now we have to be like, okay. Now Coach Prime definitely has to come out and say something. But if he didn't, then fine. But me personally, I'm thinking whether he took the interview or not, I don't see him leaving, because if he takes the interview, I'm thinking that he's getting information. If he never took the interview, but TCU is coming out and saying that they did, that means somebody's lying. And it needs to come from the source itself for them to say, oh, that is not true. Like, Coach Prime is going to have to come out himself to say that it wasn't true. He never took the interview. You can't have, somebody else come out and say it. With things like this, the source itself has to come out and say something. Now TCU is going to have to also say something too. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's TCU that put out there that, oh, they had a tremendous interview. But then you're saying that who said that he took the interview. So now you're just manipulating people and thinking that he really took the interview. Like, that means somebody's lying.
That is a fact.
Sure.
At some future, the pregame show will no longer be a show on the internet or be the buzz for social media. That is a fact. You can't allow that fact that could be years from now, decades from now, make you feel that you're right now. So everybody's got this that, well, when he does leave, hell, everybody leaves at some point, Chuck.
That is a fact. Yeah.
We're talking about the right now as we're trying to get focused on this securing the SWAC East crown, because mathematically that is what happens when we win Saturday down in Baton Rouge. FAMU can no longer catch up. We already got a 1-game lead on them. There only be 1 game left. We win this next one, it is a wrap. We're going to the SWAC championship. That's this team's focus. Now, when you sit down and say, hey, if you heard, they laugh at it, but no one is walking around over there worried or mad like the fan base is on the internet. Oh, he's leaving us already. I knew he wasn't worth a damn. I told y'all he wasn't this, wasn't that. Then when they come out that he ain't leaving, I was with y'all the time, boss. I tried to tell him you weren't going nowhere, boss.
And that's my thing right there. That's my thing. There's been so many people who they had 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door when it came to, supporting Coach Prime. Because people were already on the fence from jump. Like, if you already jumped to thinking, oh, because he took the interview, he's leaving, and you talk bad about him, was you really supporting him? For real? Like, there's been so many people, his name has been clickbait since the start of this season. His name has been clickbait. So, of course, anything newsworthy of Prime, good or bad, people are going to click on it and form their own opinion. But I kind of already knew that there were some people that kind of wasn't feeling him. So whatever.
I said, come on, y'all. Stop. Just stop.
I think you touched on it at one point in time, RELAX, relax. And we have to kind of, at times, keep that in mind and kind of keep a level head, focus like the team is doing. This tough Southern football team of this upcoming weekend. Jackson State has not beaten the Southern team since 2013. Trust you me, there is laser focus on getting through this losing streak that Jackson State has to Southern. You had an opportunity to talk today to Coach T.C. Taylor.
Coach, when we were up there, we talked to the coaches weekly. We talk to them every other day and get their assessments of how it's going.
We know what time it is already. We know what time it is.
Later on this week. Talk to T.C. Taylor. We all know and love Coach T.C. Taylor. Has been commanding an offense for about 4 weeks now. Played at Jackson State, legendary player at Jackson State, and now coaching there. I want y'all to listen to Coach Taylor this morning and tell me, does he sound like a guy that's worried about some outside noise?
Coach T.C. Taylor, played here, you know about this rivalry with Southern Baton Rouge, particularly traveling down there. What's the message
All
to the
right,
team?
we're done here.
Let's just play discipline.
All right, we're
Try to do too much. No.
we're done here. I just wanted to try and hear from him, but we saw this already. But I kind of already knew that this was kind of like this. Oh, I didn't know this was like this. Okay, so we can keep going. We can keep going. I'm sorry. We can keep going.
The hoop when you're in these kind of games. I mean, we know what this is all about. When you cross that bridge, you got Jaguar versus the Tigers. And a lot of tradition on both sides.
We seen this already.
Love.
We seen it. We gonna fast forward to right here. We gonna fast forward.
Killer, talking a little bit about the matchup this weekend. I'll tell you what, didn't sound panicked. He's laser focused.
Okay, well, if they're not talking about the Coach Prime
Yeah.
thing anymore, if they're not talking about the Coach
Don't mean they
Prime
going
thing,
nowhere.
Yeah.
all right, we can cut it here. Okay, so I just wanted to hear from him to see what they were kind of feeling about this whole thing. But I tell you this, like, I kind of already knew that Coach Prime wasn't going anywhere no time soon. You know, but whether, I mean, he didn't really have to say anything for me to know what it was. But for the other fans that are on the fence about him, whether or not he's leaving, they kind of want to hear from him, you know, from Coach Prime. And I wouldn't, like, that has to happen. You know, so whether he's on the sideline with them, because I'm pretty sure the team probably already knows. But they're doing a real good job of just not saying anything. But if he didn't take that interview and TCU's lying about it, I wouldn't be surprised about it either. Me personally, I would not be surprised if TCU lied about it. Because they've been trying to these teams have been trying to get Coach Prime away from Jackson State for a while. They've been trying to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there are more teams this year that are trying to get an interview with him. But he's not leaving. Coach Prime's not going anywhere, man. Like, he's not going anywhere, whether he interviewed or not. Like, he's not going anywhere, man. I just wanted to try to see that and just, see what they were talking about. But yeah, man, he's not going anywhere, y'all. He's not leaving. All right? He's not leaving. He's not going nowhere. But if he does, he's already done more than what a lot of these other coaches have done, even if he does leave. Jackson State will be in good hands, but me personally, he's not leaving. But I'm going to do the Jackson State versus Southern breakdown, later on this week, because Jackson State, boy, man, they better win this game because they got FAMU looking over their shoulder. Like, so they're not scot-free yet. But shout out to everybody, man. Shout out, appreciate y'all for listening.